Hey guys, welcome to the Computer Made Simple. Today I will show you how to replace the LCD screen of a Lenovo ThinkPad X120e laptop. So what happened is, for some reason, I guess computer was dropped and there was a small crack in the LCD, and it was actually causing big problems for the whole screen. Had horizontal lines everywhere, and anything near the crack would simply be bars, so we could not see anything on the screen. So I went online, found a website that specializes in shipping only computer screens called laptopscreen.com. Ordered from them. 2 days later, I had the screen, was well packaged, and I was ready to change it. So as you can see right now, I'm taking out the keyboard, and the great thing about this keyboard is it is sealed from behind, so anything that would spill on the keyboard will remain in the keyboard area, giving you time to either flip the computer and drain it, or if you're unlucky, maybe your keyboard would die, but not fry the whole computer in the process. So you would only have to change the keyboard and save yourself a full computer. So I guess the not so fun part about this ThinkPad is it's so small that you have to take it completely apart to be able to access the LCD screen, which is a lengthy process. I think this took me near an hour to disassemble and reassemble. Right now I'm currently working on removing the video connectors from the LCD. At the beginning, when I took out the hard drive, I don't know if you noticed, but it is a WD branded Scorpio Black hard drive, and the Scorpio Black is actually high-end hard drive. It's actually 7200 RPM, so it's a fast drive in a small computer, which is surprising. Usually they go for smaller, cheaper drives. So kudos to Lenovo for choosing a good brand of hard drive in their computers. Right now I'm taking out the far USB connector. I'm going to start working on removing the main motherboard. And the good thing about ThinkPads is they actually have to pass some tests because they're actually made for the business person going on the road, and they have to travel a lot with it, and it gets tossed and banged around a lot. So they're actually tougher than the most notebooks in general. So right now I took out the little covers for the screws. Any screw that is not under the computer has a little sticker on it to hide it. And this is just to free up the antennas for the wireless, because they do run up in the actual screen. So this is a tiny computer. It's 11.6 inches, if I'm not mistaken, screen size. So it is fairly small, and I do have big hands, so sometimes it could be frustrating. So a good little screwdriver will get you a long way. So I'm currently working on separating the lower part from the actual screen part. Alright, so now we have just the LCD screen itself. The routing of the wires is very tight, so make sure you're careful when you remove them or replace them afterwards. It's always good, like in this case I was filming myself to make this video, but let's say I don't remember how I put it back together, I can just rewatch the video and then I would be able to do it pretty easily. Right now I'm trying to remove the bezel covering the screen. Alright, so now we have the screen itself, and at the top of the screen, which is at the bottom of this video, we can see the small camera that's integrated into the lid. I'm gonna work my way around, disconnect the camera, and remove the screen. Now all I have to do is remove the hinges that's holding the screen in place. Almost done. So this is obviously fast forwarded. It took about, I would say, 45 minutes to get to there, but it was my first time working on this specific model. Now I'm removing the connectors from the LCD and the camera connector at the top. Alright, so that was easy. Now let's put it back together. Alright, so grabbing the new screen from laptopscreen.com, making sure it's the same model. It is an LG made screen. It was the exact same model number, but it was a different revision. That's why the PCB board at the back is slightly different. It was a newer revision, but as far as I can tell, it looked exactly the same. Trying to connect, and these laptop connectors, they're all flat ribbon based connectors, so they're sometimes a little tricky to install, especially if you got fat fingers. Just trying to put it back in. And you always try to put it back as best you can, and you hope that, because it's hard to test if it was properly positioned unless the whole thing is reassembled. So hopefully everything, well, in this case everything was correct, and I was pretty happy. But it's happened before that a connector was loose and I had to take everything apart again to put it back together afterwards, just for one loose connector. So it's always a good idea to double check and make sure everything's connected and seems tight. You can see to the right bottom of the screen I'm using my own ThinkPad, which is the X120e. The good thing about ThinkPad computers, IBM, which is now has been bought by Lenovo, sorry, the ThinkPad series at least has been bought by Lenovo, is they're really easy to take apart, and the manual is very well documented. So I was reading along the manual on my own ThinkPad while I was taking apart the other one. Right now I'm reinstalling the hinges that's supporting the actual screen, and I must say the construction of these laptops is pretty solid for their size. I mean, there's no flex at all. These things are built solid. They're built to last. Sadly, I do not know how the LCD got cracked. That's still a mystery. And note to self, next time I'm gonna purchase a screwdriver that's magnetized, especially for these tiny screws. All the laptop screws in this computer I think are Phillips 0, so it's slightly smaller than your usual Phillips screw. Now that the new screen is switched, now it's the fun part, reassembling. So now I'm just trying to line up everything, making sure the wires are properly routed, and everything just falls into place, snaps, just using a screwdriver to help me align the connector, plugging the camera in, and it's just time to screw the screen back in. Like I said, overall it took me probably an hour and a half. Manual was very clear, it was very helpful. It's the first time that I had to take apart the whole computer to access the screen, but I guess that's the price to pay when you go for the smallest computer possible in the smallest case possible. Everything is so packed together that there's no room to there's no free room, I should say. Every bit of inch is being used. So just putting the screws back in, then I'm going to try to properly reroute the wires behind the little hinges, and that's where I wish I had a magnetized screwdriver. Little screws escaping me once again. Big hands, small screws, not fun. Alright, so bezel's ready to go back in. Snap it back in place. Everything just snaps, and we're almost done. Alright, just putting the final screws back in. making sure everything is nice and tight. And remember, when you screw the screws of a computer, you never want to over tighten them. When it's you start to feel resistance, it's good enough. Screen's assembled. I reassembled the whole computer, and voila, brand new working laptop screen. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more videos and information. Please visit our website, and thank you, and I'll see you next time.